Today we have Namita talking about.
Nobody can time the market.
Got
Not
it,
even
right.
Rakesh Jhunjhunwala who's the bull of Indian market, stock market, getting an interest of like just 5%, more or less. And your inflation is 6%. But effectively, you're losing out the money.
Okay.
So the money is not growing at all. Most of the women leave that idea of managing finances to their husbands and fathers and to the men in the family.
So we are working on GK.
We are working on GK.
And we're working on ET to improve our financial understanding.
Right.
What else do you do as a part of your learning? Today on Zen But Not Calm, we have this fascinating mom, Namita. So, Namita, why don't you please introduce yourself today?
Thank you for inviting me, Shobna. I am ex-profession. By ex-profession, I'm a management consultant. By profession, I'm a stock trader right now and a mother to a beautiful daughter. And by passion, I'm a mountaineer.
You said something about, challenging yourself and the feeling of reaching that summit, even though you may have certain minor failures and struggles in the path, reaching that destination or that feeling of reaching that destination is nothing like what you can experience today.
Oh, yes.
So, is that why your regular job didn't give you that excitement? But stocks probably do.
Stocks. Okay.
So tell me about this transition. Now, I'm really, because I think there is a lot of similarity in the challenges that you face as you are as you get into this whole phase of
Correct.
mountaineering and reaching that summit and having your minor struggles and fallbacks, but still push through. And stocks. So
I know they are very different world altogether.
They are. Correct. But the feeling that you get
remains the same.
Gives you the same kick, right? It's a kick.
It's a kick. It's an adrenaline rush that
right.
you get. And when you see the loss, oh my god, please, God. Then all the gods in the world you remember, and then they keep, please, you know.
मैं 100 नारियल तोड़ूंगी.
I know, something like that. Okay, so why there was a profit? Why haven't you booked it? And then all sort of feelings, the emotions come into picture.
Right.
But stock market trading is not about emotions at all. I mean, this is something one has to learn, and it comes with experience. And I'm still in the learning phase. I'm a beginner, or you can say in consulting parlance, I'm an analyst, still learning about the stock market. Okay, how the transition came. Okay, I was an workaholic. Okay. I was a workaholic, and for first 4.5 years of my life, I was working on all 7 days. I was coming back from Noida, leaving office not less than 10:30 p.m. at night. I was leaving home at 6:45, getting picked up by the cab in the morning, and reaching home at 12. So I was hardly sleeping, and that's my routine. Okay, that was a routine. My father asked me one day, "Has your office timings changed? Because I don't see you at all."
Right.
That's how workaholic
you were.
But once you start performing, companies and your manager start giving you difficult projects, and that's how. And by the time, and this happened over a period of time, and my work-life balance remained throughout in my I'll say that 12 years of career. 2 years before that
balance?
IT.
What balance are we talking about here? I mean, you leave at 6:45, you come back at 12.
I was called on Saturday 10 p.m. I want this on at 11 a.m. on Monday morning. I have passed on the monkey on your shoulder. Now it's up to you.
Oh.
नहीं
क्या तुम्हारी प्रॉब्लम?
क्या तो तुम्हारी प्रॉब्लम? मैंने तो दे दिया सैटरडे को 10 बजे रात को कॉल करके मैंने तो तुम्हें बता दिया. ठीक है, this is how life was. So it took a toll on my health, and by that Ruhi had born. So it was very difficult to manage. I did not know that she had pollen allergies. Before we were in Hyderabad, she did not have any
allergies then. Welcome to Bangalore.
Yes, welcome to Bangalore. And then she wasn't sleeping at all, and all night was spent on in my lab
managing her,
and my neck gave away, my back gave away, and I'm like, boss. And on top of it, they did not give me any promotion. I'm like, this is the nail in the coffin. I'm like, just
the monkey's back on you.
I was like, bus, ho gaya mera, I'm just done. I can't do it. On top of it, I had my savings as well, because I was saving.
I mean, you were working.
No, but
you didn't have a life to balance out. Where would you spend?
I know. Correct. And I was staying with my parents. I wasn't going out eating or shopping for that matter because I had no life at all. So I'll say that my prime were lost in the office work. So
so now you had good savings. This saved you in a way.
Saved me. Yes, because if I did not have any savings, of course, I would not have taken the plunge. COVID happened, I'll say, and stock market was at the rock bottom. I was not aware of it because I had never invested. I was investing in mutual funds, which I started in 2018. Again, thanks to my father. Okay, I should thank my father for it. I think, right? And he started investing. So I took a plunge. I was scared whether I should go ahead or not. But I started with a very small amount, 50,000. Of course, I was working. So even if I would have lost that 50,000, I would not have minded.
So when you started, you were still working?
Yes.
Okay.
I was still working. It was in 2020 June when I opened my account, Zerodha account, Demat account. And that's when I put in this money. But I would keep on checking, even though I was feeding Ruhi, and I would keep on checking Zerodha. Okay, upar gaya, niche gaya, and all that. And I'll be like, 600 rupees ka profit. Okay, let's just book it. Let's just book it. Okay, I do not want to lose out on this money.
So I'm going to start from the point that you mentioned that you were still working.
Yes.
When you decided, and you had a child.
I had a
child.
So
right now the situation is that you have a flow of income that comes into your account.
Correct.
So monthly income is coming in.
Sorted.
So there is not that particular risk that only income is moving out, or this income that has moved out into your stock is, even if it is completely lost, there isn't a complete there's no backup plan, because right now your job was your backup plan. What do you think about a mother who decides to, because I'm sure today a lot of moms, for multiple reasons. Now, it could be work-life balance. It could be the fact that they just want to be
example of health.
So work-life balance, we're talking about health. We're talking about just something as simple as, I just want to have something more flexible in hand.
Correct.
So that I can spend more time with my child.
Right.
So for a mother who is now suddenly planning to take this plunge of moving into something as risky as stocks, which phase do you recommend as a good time to begin stocks?
Okay, there's no good time in the stock market, to be honest.
Okay.
I would say that the longer you stay in the stock market, your money will grow. Okay. And even if you do not want to get into direct equity, go to the mutual funds, because you are giving your money to somebody else who is a professional, and to manage your money with a small expense ratio, which is for a small commission. Okay. And you start with something where you can save your tax as well, because if you are rolling out your money, you are taking out the profit from the mutual funds also, you'll have to pay the capital gain as well. So you can take out you can put money into the easily index fund. Okay, what we call it is the Nifty 50 index fund, because those are the top 50 companies, right? Index fund, you will get 12% return, like straight away, because this is how the Indian market has been growing, at least the index fund. If nothing else, you can park your money, whatever money that you want, you have, that you can take out from your savings, 10,000, 20,000, whatever. You put that money into the index fund, which is the safest version. And there are varieties of mutual funds, your debt funds, fixed income funds, hybrid, balanced, you name it. Right.
So when a person does want to start and they are not sure, let's say whether they have a job as a plan B in hand or not, or whether they are right now just tapping onto their own internal savings that they have done and they do not have a plan B in hand. If they have to begin, it's probably a better thing to start with something like mutual funds, index funds, so that they can tap onto this market, but not at complete risk. This is a low risk investment.
Very low risk investment. If you go for fixed deposits in a bank, they give you like 6% and 7%, and in that also,
right.
And in that also, the interest is, you'll have to pay TDS, right? Tax deducted at source.
At source, right.
So you're effectively, getting an interest of like just 5%, more or less, right? And your inflation is 6%. So effectively, you're losing out the money.
Okay.
So the money is not growing at all. So I would not recommend fixed deposit. Rather, you go for index funds. And in that also, if you do not want to put money straight away, you go with SIPs, your systematic investment plans, because
monthly minor amount gets deducted from your
correct. Yeah. And gold is giving like so good returns,
right?
I don't know, as Indians we just hold on to physical,
but gold bonds are better, right?
Gold bonds are better. Right? Now the government has stopped the scheme, sovereign gold bond, because they were giving interest as well.
Oh, okay.
Right? The value was increasing and they were giving 1.5. Initially, they started, I think, 2.75. But now they thought, okay, their liability has increased a lot. So so the government liability increased, because with the increase in value, they were giving the higher amount of interest as well. But now it has reduced, and they have dropped the scheme as well. But nevertheless, there are gold bond funds. I'm not recommending anything, but right,
it's from your it's from your personal experience that we're talking right now, right?
And if you invest little amount, right, you can start with as little as 500. Okay, I am not saying you have to invest like 5,000. So like for me, I invest in gold fund, my SIP 2,500. That's about it, right? And I have invested in one tax saver fund as well. And there I invest around 5,000 SIPs, because your market is like a sine curve, okay? Like a wave, right?
There are highs
and lows.
So tell me, stocks, when you talk about Zerodha and when you talk about investing and putting a pool of money into something which is truly risky,
yes.
high-end risk.
Correct.
Now, there are existing funds in the market where you can park your money there.
Correct.
But what you are doing right now is actually not tapping on a professional, but being a professional yourself, right?
Yes.
Where you have to keep a tab on what the highs and lows are.
Yes.
So how much of a daily involvement do you do? So if a mother today decides that I want to have a very flexible life, I want to spend a lot of time with my child, but they still require, if they do decide to get into something which is high risk stocks, they have to really spend some amount of time, dedicated time.
Absolutely.
So what is your understanding? Now, we are all beginners here and there is no right or wrong to this, because stock market, we can give the disclaimer like stock markets do.
They're risky bonds.
They're risky bonds.
Yes.
Yeah. So in your understanding so far, being a mother of a child who's a toddler, what kind of a time do you think requires you to spend on a day-to-day basis to have an understanding, or at least keep a tab on the stocks fluctuations?
Okay, in my opinion, see, we can't be a trader. Okay, there's a difference between okay, we cannot be a day trader as a mother. Okay, I would say that we are still a trader, but we cannot be a day trader, which is called as intraday trader. Okay, because that requires you to sit at 8:30 in the morning and 3:30 when the market closes. Till then, you have to sit and then buy stock which is going up, buy stock and sell it off at the end of the day. We cannot do that. My father does that.
Okay.
My father does that.
So this is a retirement plan.
Yes, that's a retirement. No, that is not. I can't do that.
No, I don't want to live my life like this.
I don't want to live my life. I'm just sitting in front of the laptop. Please, I'm done. I have life. I'm done with laptops.
I want my balance back.
Correct. Yes. Okay. It's been just 2 years that I have left my profession.
The profession, that beautiful profession. Monkey is yours.
Monkey is yours. Yes, that beautiful profession. I do not want to get back to the laptop screen looking at that. Okay, no, I do not want to do that.
Right.
So what you can, what I would suggest to the mothers, that if you want to get into the trading, so trading can be your 3 days, 5 days, a month, 3 months, 6 months, year, 2 years. Still, it's a trading, because investing is, you kept the money and you've forgotten about it. It's for your kids. It's for your kids.
Right.
That's the investing. That's the idea. But what you're doing is you want money for yourself as well, for your day-to-day, as your income, right? Your expenses. You want to take out your expenses. I'll say that regularly give 1 hour at night when your child sleeps. Read about the, ET. I think Economic Times is the best app, I would say that, if you can get hold of it. Read about which markets are growing, which sectors are growing, which sectors are not growing, and, the news, what is happening in the US, because all our markets are interrelated. You have to know where the war is happening, if there is a war, and if the US is involved. And where
US is always involved. Where is US not involved?
Correct. Where the US is not involved. It's always involved. It is going to impact our Indian market as well.
Right.
And our markets will go down. So you need to aware of the what is
fluctuations,
happening, the macro environment, I would say, the macro environment, what is happening globally, right? Where the risk is happening, war is happening, US job data, what their Fed Reserve is speaking about, inflation, all these impact our Indian market as well. So spend that time, okay? Now,
so we are working on GK.
We are working on GK.
And we are working on ET to improve our financial understanding of the different varieties of businesses that are running and the way the stock market works.
Right.
What else do you do as a part of your learning?
Again, this is not something somebody has paid me, but I do look at one of the apps, which is Stock Edge. It's a website, it's an app as well. And thankfully, it is till now, the basic thing, it is free of cost.
Understood.
Right? Because a lot of the other apps, you will find they are paid.
Premium
subscription. It does have premium subscription, but for my basic minimal requirements, this is good enough. Stock Edge. That's what I look at. It shows me the major stocks that have gone up, that have gone down. And then the companies that have gone up, I look at that whether it went up today or yesterday, or because generally, if the one particular stock has gone up 2 days in a row, third day it is likely to go up.
Okay.
Likely, because there is a momentum in that particular stock. Likely, unless something major news comes up. Okay. On the fourth day, it will surely go down because traders will book the profit.
So tell me one thing.
When do you
invest? Do you invest when you see the momentum going up, or do you invest when you see it going down? Because since it's a wave that we're talking about, at some point or the other, it'll also go up. So when is the sweet spot to invest?
Okay. Nobody can time the market. Not even Rakesh Jhunjhunwala, who's the bull of Indian stock market, could time the market. Nobody can time the market. So I'll say start reading books as well.
Okay.
Books are equally important, right?
You have any recommendations?
Yes, Warren Buffett's
a biography.
Yes. That's something. There are books by Prasenjit Paul. He's How to Identify Multi-Bagger Stocks. There is book by Peter Lynch. He's considered one of the greatest fund managers in the US stock market, financial market. So there are books available. Start reading a little bit, because I won't say that I have started doing my homework 2 years back. No, not at all. I have taken my own losses. Not at all.
We come to that.
I've taken my own losses, and I'm still at loss. Good amount of loss, but I am building my own information and knowledge about it, because if I had spent 14 years in my professional salaried journey, I need to give that time here as well. Okay, you have to treat it as a profession. Maybe you give 2 hours a day or 4 hours, whatever amount of time that you can get from your busy schedule, put in that amount. And I would say that please don't take it as it's a cake or an adrenaline rush. It is a profession. It is a business. Treat it like a business. And if nothing else, invest in the index fund and let it grow. Let it grow. Roll it over. Take out the profit at the end of 1 year, which will not be taxed. 1.25 lakhs profit will not be taxed by the government. So you can take out that money and use it for yourself at the end of the year, which will consider it as a long-term capital gain, or after 12 months.
Got it.
But in between, if you take, you will be taxed 20%. 20%, boss. And irrespective of your income, whether it's like 500 or 100 rupees, you will be taxed 20%. So don't do that. I would recommend go with that. So 2 hours at least minimum. Give yourself of studying. Yes.
So tell me one thing. You said that it is like a proper profession or a business, and it requires that kind of a time. Correct. Obviously, the people who generally tend to get into stocks are in a rush to see the outcome. right?
Yes.
So because we hear so many positive stories
We only
of
hear
of
positive stories.
yeah, we hear a lot of positive
Correct.
stories about how people, and even the advertisements that come, kind of encourage you, telling you that, oh, I bought a car out of the profits that I made from the stock investment. Now, how long or how patient do you think a person should be in order to really arrive at that kind of a scenario that the advertisements put forward?
Okay. Every market has a cycle, right?
Right.
Cycle and a trough, right?
Hmm.
So 2020, whosoever invested in 2020, stock market was at rock bottom. They are millionaires or crorepati's. Okay, I would say that. So whatever you are hearing is from 2020, but those cycles have always been there. 2000, when the dot-com bubble was there, market crashed.
Right.
Again, it took some time to recover, and it's possible that most of the stocks have not even recovered from that bubble, right?
That's a chance. That's a chance.
Right. And then 2017 market fell. 2008 financial crisis, that was like the biggest crisis, big one, right? So many companies got busted. So many would have lost
their jobs,
and money, whosoever invested, and they would be sitting, I don't know, on what profits, and their profits have gone down like 50% down, or maybe 90% down, or the complete their capital got vanished, became zero. That is also possible, right? So 2017, 2020, right? My mutual funds were at minus 44%, minus 42%, right? But I remained invested. And now I am at 67% overall profit in my mutual fund portfolio, right? So again, first point, what I said, remain invested. Do not panic, okay? If you're into direct equity, there can be good stocks, there can be bad stocks, okay? There are some fundamentals of the good stock, some fundamentals of the bad stock. And when the market was booming, everybody made money. Everyone. I too had made money. Yes. But since July last year, okay, I had not seen that phase before, right? And I had a profit of 4.5 lakhs on an investment of 22 lakhs. And then now I'm sitting at 9.5 lakhs loss.
No.
Right?
So that also...
So I had not booked my profit because I was trying different strategy altogether. Let me remain invested what I have learned for 1 year. But then it just boom,
dipped further.
Further, right? I had not done it. So I'm also in a learning phase altogether. So you will see that there is a bull run. There is a, there is a downtrend as well, bear market. And all these wars and US
scenarios that add to the whole...
Mr. Trump has done so good to the world. So because of which, whatever is happening in the Indian stock market as well, don't be bothered about that. I will say that. Okay.
So when do you finally feel that it's time to sell something? So you said there is a definition of a good stock and there's a definition of a bad stock. What are the two top reasons of both that generally trigger that feeling that it's a good stock, or maybe even one top reason that triggers a feeling that, okay, this is a good stock versus this is a bad stock?
Okay, I'll say, okay, very important. If the earnings are not growing, profits are not growing, it's a bad stock. For regularly 2 quarters, meaning quarter is of 3 months.
Right.
For regularly for 2 or 3 quarters, the earnings are only going down. It's not a good stock.
Then do you sell it? Is it better to sell it than wait for it to come? Because there are a lot of people who are worried that if I sell it today, it's a loss. What if it comes back up tomorrow? So
it may, but I don't know. What if
it goes further down, right?
It goes further down. I don't know, right? Again, it's a learning for me because I have not. I am sitting. Okay,
with 9 lakhs loss.
Yes, and I have booked the losses as well, and now I'm at 5.3 lakhs loss because I have booked the losses. I have reinvested that capital, whatever was left, into a good stock, which in this market as well was growing. Just kept on growing.
And so you should have that understanding that how long do you really wait? So if 6 months is the appetite that you wait, then you understand your appetite.
Exactly.
Which isn't that one of the most important aspects of everything?
Correct. Appetite. How much losses are you willing to take? That's why I said that the capital that you're investing in direct equity, not in the mutual funds, which is also direct equity, but you're not managing it. Direct equity by yourself. you should be able to take a hit on it. That particular money may become zero. May become zero. You have to take that hit. So you need to have a little bit backing for yourself, and that's why you have to diversify your portfolio. Some money should be in the gold bond, gold bond.
Like
some
you have
money,
done.
yes,
Right.
like I have done. Some money I invest in US market as well. So some
money
in
is there.
yes, in the US market, because right now US market is doing good, but not the Indian market. So I pulled out a little bit money from the Indian market. I took the losses and invested in the US market because that is increasing. So you have to diversify. Put it in index fund, Nifty 50, what I said.
So how is the portfolio right now? What's the percentage of risk versus high risk versus moderate risk versus low risk in your opinion? Like what's a good balance for a mother who's newly investing?
Okay, so I'll say that put 50% in index fund.
Okay. So that's low risk is
No,
50, very low risk
very
is
low
50,
risk,
50%.
Who is just starting? Because I think that the emotional turmoil, you do not want to, anyways, you are emotional because of you're taking care of a child.
Of course.
Yes, yeah. Right? You do not want further emotional stress or the turmoil. Right?
Fair enough.
Right? So 50%, I'll say that put in the index fund. Right? Just close your eyes, put in the index fund, let it go to 12% at least, right? Which is a very decent, return and growth that you will get, right? I'll say that remaining, you divide between, let's say, US market, because it's doing fantastic. You get the appreciation, because our currency is declining. Right. So whatever money you put, and the US, market, when it increases, in the dollar terms, it may show me 40%, but in Indian rupee term, it will be like 42 or 43 or 45. I'll get the benefit of the currency exchange as well.
Got it.
So that is always helpful. For me. Yes. So if nothing, put at least 20% of your money, of 100, let's say 20 rupees in your US market, right? 20% definitely should go in the gold bond.
Okay, so now we are done with 90%.
90%. Yes. Remaining 10%, you can put it in your
high risk
equity.
Trading,
yes.
Mode.
Okay. Maybe like a week you are doing for a month or for 3 months. Start with very, minimal amount, that even if you lose, let's say 10 rupees, you do not feel the pinch, right, of losing that money.
I know appetite is one aspect. How do you know you truly have interest? I mean, you have sustained this, and even though you'd have the appetite or to overcome or navigate those losses and come back strongly from it, understand where to pull it out from, when to pull it out from, you've understood, or you've had that knowledge with you right now.
Correct.
How do you know that the interest is sustained as a business for the rest of your life? Like what was that moment that you realized this is it?
This is it. Okay. The money that came in. money. Right? And when you see that, okay, you are not touching your savings. Right?
It's all coming from the profits.
It's all coming from the profits. And then you realize, let's put in more effort. I was not putting in that effort. I'll be truly honest. And I have to, okay, here I have to say thanks to my husband, Shayantit. Okay, he says I don't say enough. He is a manager, so as to speak, here for me, and he'll keep on reminding me, you are not putting in that effort, you are not spending time. What are you doing? You're just spending time with Ruhi. But I think you need
the push.
You need the push as well. So he has been a push here, and he bought me books. I have not bought the books.
That's sweet.
Yes, I have not bought that book. He has bought a good number of books for me, and he keeps on asking me, okay, aaj kya padha tumne? Tell me about it. Aaj kya padha? Whenever he gets
taken that manager role very seriously.
Very seriously. And not that he gets time every day, but whenever he gets the time, what have you done? How much profit
Surprise test.
Surprise test. How much profit have you made? Are you making any profit? What are you doing? When will you take me out of this job, and when will I retire? So I think I am moving towards that goal of his, because he retired. I will consider myself retired from the professional salaried.
You're not an employee anymore. You're a businesswoman.
Yes, I'm a businesswoman. So I would say that I'm financially independent and retired from the salaried, or I'm not an employee anymore. And I will give him the credit. So you need somebody. So tell somebody what you're doing. I would say that. So that you get that push. from that particular person.
Right.
If you're doing it yourself, I don't think so. Some may, maybe if you see a lot of losses, you will come out of it. But talk to the people. You can reach out to different communities. There are a lot of communities, I'll say that.
Can you name a few for the benefit?
Stockage.
Okay.
So there you will find TradingView is another one. TradingView, I use it for, seeing the chart, complete chart. You can see it in the Stockage as well, Zerodha as well, or Grow, any platform that you use for opening the Demat account. But TradingView also provides the, the community where you can reach out. You can watch lot of videos, are available. So I don't go here and there. I watch Stockage videos, like, to be honest, right? Vivek Bajaj is the name of the person who has started this, and he makes brilliant videos. I watch his videos, whatever the concepts that he's teaching, because you will find a lot of financial influencers that you will find. There are few good ones as well. I don't recall the name, but yes.
But he's the one that you follow most, because obviously the way a person explains things as well has to match with your wavelength. So I'm assuming that this chemistry has come together well here.
Together very well here. And so I watch video just to, and while I'm cooking, it's not as if I'm taking out time separately and then sitting and making notes and all that. No, even while I'm cooking, I'm doing something or other, I keep,
it's in the background.
It's in the background, and I listen intently what he's saying. And if I don't understand something, I go back to it once I'm done with my work, and then see and read few more articles about it, or do my research, and to understand the concept better, and then try to apply.
Yes. Nice. Okay, so one of the things that you mentioned in passing is how financial independence in today's age and stage has become not just let the husband be financially independent and hence he provides for the family, or the wife be financially independent and hence she provides for the family.
Correct.
It's a teamwork at the end of the day.
It's a teamwork at the end.
So whether one of you is working or both of you are working, you are coming together as a team and providing for the whole family.
Correct.
And I'm a very strong believer of a family portfolio.
Absolutely. Me too.
So at different stages, we all take up different roles.
Correct.
Which is why I wanted to transition into something which I also enjoy, while I'm showcasing that passion into monetary benefits.
Obviously.
Nothing else works otherwise, right? It is a very big essential.
Otherwise, it's a hobby.
Correct. And post that, there would be a phase where I want to be able to create this family business that tomorrow, if, let's say, my husband decides to take a back seat and becomes a part of this journey, it's something that we all bring together. So what would you want to say to the mothers today who have taken a back seat but are struggling with restarting something? So is there something that you and Shantanu probably discussed on a very similar aspect that motivated you to, so if you can...
Absolutely. So I'll say, don't be bogged down. Okay, I know it's very difficult. Parenting is very difficult. I know whosoever says that, boss, bacche to pal jate hain. I mean, pal jate honge. I don't know. My grandmom says that. Like, that bacche pal jate hain. I don't think so. In today's age, kids can grow just on their own. So as a mother, we are doing a great job for our kids, for our family together, where we are keeping everyone, safe. We're giving them healthy food. We are trying to make everything comfortable for them. And if you want to restart, maybe you have a skill, just go to the market. I would say that. Do not go for a job. The companies will never pay you for your whatever skill set that you have for your job. So I have watched so many people and so many videos, and look at yourself, Shobna. I would say that, right? You're doing yoga, you're teaching everyone prenatal, postnatal, and wow, you have a great body. I say that I'm always jealous of it, to be honest, right? If you have a hobby or a skill that
you're passionate about,
monetize it. Go to the market, D2C, I'll say that, direct to the customer. Do not go to a company or join a company. They will never pay you. They will pay you peanuts for the amount of work that you would be doing. It could be as simple as a crochet. I mean, I have seen this. The crochet is, everywhere I see are the crochet bags. You can sell them off.
That's a very good point that you just mentioned, because most of us, and I tell you very, very frankly, and this is something I strongly believe in, while I was working, I really did not know I had the inclination to be a writer or to be a yoga
Correct. Instructor.
or have the passion to work with people.
Correct.
I really didn't know that because I was so absorbed in my day-to-day activities. I didn't have the time to think
Correct.
beyond. It was the motherhood break that gave me that time to rethink, reconsider, and probably go back and tap on things that I didn't know existed in me. And yes, there was a huge phase of experimenting.
Correct.
And we have that option today. Sitting at home and pondering over whether we should start versus just starting, and let that be your playground.
Correct.
You know,
absolutely.
So why
yes,
not?
Why not? Why
Right?
not?
And
Absolutely.
just let that be your playground where you explore. And only if you explore can you truly know that you are passionate and interested and have the appetite. And I'm in awe with the number of businesses that women have actually started from home.
And nothing, just a dosa batter. Just a dosa batter.
I buy.
Yes, I do buy it. Just a dosa batter.
And I buy so that I can do something else.
Yes.
You know, so we are all helping each other out in so many different ways too, right?
Different ways. So you do not have to be, you know, Jeff Bezos or an Elon Musk that you have to have like a multi-billion-dollar business. No. It can be a very small house, you know, house-based business.
Just start.
Just start. Yes.
You never know what it grows into. Tomorrow.
What it grows into. Yes, destination is important, but the journey is equally important.
And it's a huge learning.
It's a huge learning. So I would say that,
frankly, what I'm doing today, sitting with you and picking your brains on stocks, I don't think I would have learned all this.
Women are not, you won't find many women who indulge, I will say that, in stock market. It's kind of an indulgence. And financially taking control of your finances, right, that you take as a woman, you take control, I think it would be hardly 2 or 5% in India, right?
Which is
from
true.
the salaried class, I'm saying. No, you leave alone the non-salaried class, people who are living in the rural areas or the villages. Leave that apart. I would say in the urban setup itself, I was dreading it. You know, I took the life insurance. I'm like, yaar, tax to bachana hai, kya kare? Because I was not aware of anything. Now I see that's a waste. Literally, I'm paying money and I feel that's a complete...
मैं तो मरने नहीं वाली हूँ.
Yes. Because, you know, I'm spending time on myself, I'm taking care of my health, and I'm eating good food, I'm providing healthy stuff. No, if I have to take, I'll take rather term insurance. Now I know about it. I won't take the life insurance provided by LIC. That's a complete waste. I will say that. They just take money from you, and it's a very
and they invest it in stock market.
They invest in stock
and they get rich.
They get richer, right? Absolutely. So I would say that, you know, we are, as a women, we do not give importance to ourselves that we can do it. We don't have, I don't know, somehow.
It's a fantastic point that you just made. Yeah, so because I think men, for whatever reason, probably because they have had the onus on them to be
by
earning for so many years by the society, they have that sense of confidence.
Correct.
That they can easily... And so what if something, goes as an up and down, we will overcome it and we will move on. But do you really think women today, though we have become, we have aced in so many fields, you know, we are acing today in so many fields. Do you think it is the sense of risk taking and the courage? Because we are so bound by the fact that money should not leave our hands that we have become so... we have become fearful of these kind of risky investments?
Yeah, I don't think so. It has anything to do with, risky investments. I think it has to do with the initial mindset that has been ingrained, in us, to be honest, right? Because since the start, I would say that, as in, you know, we are always told, don't get there, don't do this, you know, going out of your comfort zone takes courage. It's not easy. Not at all, right? It's easier to say than done, I would say. For me also, to invest 20 lakhs in direct equity was not easy. Okay, it took it took some courage that, okay, now I can take losses, I can handle losses as well, and I will not be bothered about it. Okay, I know that I will go do away with the bad investment. That's my mistake. You have to accept your mistake, and I'll study more, I'll put in more effort, and then I will make more money, right? But it's ingrained from the childhood with us, you know, to us as
also as an example, right? All these years we've seen our fathers being the core financial
consultants, so as to speak,
consultants of the
for us,
home,
for the
of
home.
our home, where
Yes.
they are deciding where the investment goes, and they are deciding how much money to spend on whom. So they have that sense of practice and learning from the beginning. They have had their
Ups and downs.
and they have overcome that because they have no other choice. But women in our families,
yes,
at least age-old traditions have been so that women were never involved in the
Into
financial side of things, right?
Yes.
So maybe that has also become a difficult set of reflection that we take from our own mothers and grandmothers
and around us, right?
and women around us.
Women around us in general. And I don't think so it is just India for that matter. You will find that
everywhere
globally, right? Most of the women leave that idea of managing finances to their husbands and fathers and to the men in the family.
They don't get involved either. They don't even sit together.
They don't
right?
even sit together when they are discussing finances, right? But I think it's very important to take care of your finances, to know what are the different instruments that are available in the market. So I can say that previously it was difficult, at least till our mother's age, because there were no apps, no smartphones. But now it is in your hand,
fingertips.
It's in your hand, right? You can go. No one is stopping you to look around. How can you invest money, right? So it has to come from your own. And yes, it takes time to gain that confidence. But I think it's very important, because so that you can teach your daughters and your sons, to your sons, that your would-be wife or girlfriend should be involved or can be involved. There will be nothing wrong in that, right? And for your daughters, you will set an example that see, your mom is doing, and I have to be financially independent, and I need to take care of my finances rather than depending on XYZ for managing my finances.
And managing is a very good word that you used here. It's not about at the end of the day, it's a family's pool. Great.
Correct.
But managing finances comes handy for both men and women, because if one of them is unfortunately removed from the equation, the other one should not be handicapped.
Absolutely.
And I think that is why, and it's so much more critical. I mean, I think our mothers and our grandmothers were left hanging unaware of the finances that our grandfathers have left behind, and they're confused. They should not be left this handicapped. They should be involved from the beginning with every little investment that has happened in the family, so they are not handicapped.
Correct. So like from my parents' side, my mom is not at all involved. Again, this also comes from the fact that she's not educated.
Fair enough.
Right. But it is not stopping anyone. Okay, there is one more, my friend, and her mom, oh my god, she is involved in everything. Okay. She knows their businesses and what is running, what is not running. So and she knows at least numbers and multiplication, everything. She has taught herself on her own. So nobody is stopping you from doing that as well. She has done that. So my mother could have done it. But having said that, I know everything wherever my father has invested. I want to know, and
it's good to know.
It's good to
somebody
know.
should know,
right? So, what if something unfortunate happens? Then what will happen, right? And who will manage the expenses, or where has he invested? I need to be aware. I'm not saying you make me nominee or anything. No, my mom is the nominee.
But you can help your mother. Then
I can help my mother.
Should be there to
help
and trusting. Somebody trustful,
right,
should be there.
So I think as a daughter, as a wife, as a daughter-in-law, you need to be aware what is happening in your house, and what are the expenses, where the money is going, how much are the savings, so that you can, if something happens, you can fall back on, whether you are a nominee or not in something, right? What if you're not even a nominee and you are thrown out of the house? What if? But you never know, right? We hear so many cases.
I mean, it's good to be aware.
It's good to be
either
aware.
way. See, knowing today, if there are kids who are falling back on their parents' savings, how much is the saving? Who knows? If it comes, I mean, there have been movies where you see that, beta, this is the debt that your father left behind. So if you're aware of that, you are well prepared. You're not relying on something. You are not, you're mentally more aware of your current situation, and you work from this point on.
Right? Otherwise, you will be left with, unknown.
You are left with the unknown, and that unknown is what you don't want to be.
You're scared of that unknown,
correct,
right? And that's why I think you do not want to touch the financial side. So let unknown be known to you and to your kids as well, eventually.
Which is important.
Which is important.
You see the value in it to be aware of, and hence make sure that your children are also a part of it.
Part of it.
In that process, now since we're talking about money and finance, involving children in the expenses that you do on a day-to-day basis, I feel today's kids are entitled to a huge extent.
Abundance, I would say that.
But at one point or the other, you do realize that these kids are hearing, or they're being in an environment where they understand what their friends are experiencing.
Yes, absolutely.
So it comes back to them as, why can't I experience it too?
Correct.
So they come home. Now, obviously, your financial space is very different from somebody else's financial space.
Correct.
Even though you may be at par, what you think is valuable to spend on would be different from what somebody else thinks it's valuable to be spent on.
Correct.
So do you think there is a lot of value in involving your children early on?
Absolutely.
In a lot of these decisions? So they are a part of this harmonious financial system of the family.
So I'll say I firmly believe in it. Okay. So Sayantan is amazed, okay, I will say that, and sometimes apprehensive, okay,
right,
both the sides, okay,
right.
So apprehensive that she's just a child, and then amazed that you are treating her like an adult, like a person. Right. Like a person, not an adult, but a person. Right? Where I tell her that if she asks
like
me
something,
like a peer, when she asks me something, I reply. And Sayantan is like, अरे बच्ची है यार, छोड़ ना, क्या explain कर रही है?
उसको क्या समझ में आएगा?
क्या समझ में आएगा? But no, it is not like that, because once you start telling them the things, they start understanding about it. If I tell this to my father. What if you had told me that, okay, invest in mutual funds way back in when I did my IBM job, right? Now my portfolio would have grown to, I would have been a crorepati, okay? Like maybe multi-crorepati, who knows?
Correct. Very true.
Very true. He told me that I started investing or opened my Demat account in 1995. If not 1995, he could have told me when I was 21. I sent him 10,000 to invest, right, wherever. I was not aware. But
he did it, but he didn't tell you that he was doing this.
Correct.
Or you should also start.
I should do it on my own as well. So I make sure right now that Ruhi knows everything, okay? When I look at my charts and I say, oh my God, market is down. She's like, which market is down? She's like,
Mera toy nahi aane wala hai kal.
She's like, where? Which? She asks question that inculcates the curiosity in her that, okay, there is something called market, okay? And then I tell her about the US, because at night also I look at US market and I, oh wow, aaj the US market बढ़ रहा है, and she's like, अच्छा बढ़ रहा है, कहाँ बढ़ रहा है, दिखाओ, I will see, and then she looks at the chart. Because
visual aid, right? It's
visual
like
aid. Correct. So I'm looking at the chart, okay? And then I have told her I do not have a regular income. I have told her I have limited money. That's what I tell her. And I tell her that, okay, you want two things, but you will get one, because I have limited money. I don't, so I encourage her firstly to make a decision and a choice that which one you want. So again, I'm trying to make her a bit independent as well. It may be, too early for her to decide, because a lot of people or research or studies have shown that kids can't really decide
that early
on. But it's fine. I mean, to me, it's fine. It's okay, because I'm giving her options. And then within the option, I'm saying that you take either one or option two, but you will not get both, because I have limited money.
Because though the research says that the options are within the bucket or the bracket of what you are, so you're already doing it within a closed environment. It is not like a jo uthane wala environment.
Correct.
So I'm very much in line with your thinking, because I do precisely that with my children as well.
Correct.
I give them a budget, frankly. I tell them that this is your budget, and if today we are spending, and it's not every day. First of all, there are occasions where I'm very strict about, no, we are not doing this.
Correct.
It's useless. We need to understand the difference between need and want. Though those two words, I also don't know the definition of.
No, I can tell you, okay? I can tell you, need, want, and desire.
Okay. You added one more.
There is a desire. So my desire is to own a LV bag. That's a desire for my 40th birthday.
Louis Vuitton,
okay? Okay, that's a desire, but that's not a need. Okay? Want is something like, okay, Michael Kors.
A need is
200 ka,
flea market.
Flea market. Okay, that's how it is. So
now we have put it under financial buckets now.
Financial buckets, okay.
LV, Michael Kors,
and
the flea market.
Okay, so need, want, and desire.
Perfect.
That's what it is.
Which is precisely how I am also guiding them. A lot of times I get this back that they're too young to understand this, and I'm like, when is the right age? When they actually transition, you never know. So it's good to start early. Correct. If they can absorb 2 words out of the 5 words I said, good enough. I've done my job.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
I literally move ahead with that. So you're absolutely fair to say that you give her the choice and you let her take the decisions. And one of the things that you said, that you involve her in your day-to-day hard work.
Yes.
I think that children need to see that parents are working hard to earn that money.
Correct.
It is not like how our parents used to say, no, पैसे पेड़ पे नहीं उगते हैं. It's like, तो कहाँ उगते हैं? They never answered that.
Never answered that.
We should answer that.
Correct.
पेड़ पे नहीं उगते बेटा, इधर ये देखो. इतनी मेहनत लगती है. This is effort. This is time taking. This is
time
a lot of
and mentally you have to be in that
draining.
Space, mentally draining, and you have to be calculative about how much are you spending and where are you spending.
And you need the support. And I think when you start involving your children, you see that they come with immense support.
Yes.
Frankly, they understand. And I have seen that transition.
I see with Ruhi now.
Yeah. Because I've been involved. I think because if you involve them, you give them an opportunity to understand and hence an opportunity to support.
Correct.
If you don't involve them, this whole cycle is missed. And then you say, why isn't my child, or why is my child being more demanding? I'm not saying that it won't come back biting. It will eventually someday. But I'm hoping that this works.
Hope is a big word. Yeah. And everything lies on the hope. I am truly a believer in a hope.
Stock market, hope.
Yes, stock market, hope. I'm a firm believer on that.
Correct. So, yeah.
So, I'll give you a small example, okay? I had never introduced her to Kinder Joy, okay? Yes, it's such an expensive thing, boss. It's nothing. It's a 50 rupees.
Toffee mein kuch problem thi.
I know. So, but she was introduced to Kinder Joy at somebody else's house.
Of course.
Okay, parents.
That's how they start.
That's how they start. And now there's a toy, and that child has a bottle full of Kinder Joy toys. And now, these shops, they keep it right at the strategic place of while you're leaving, and the cashier at the cash counter, they will keep it. And she's like, I want that. Then
and now they have different characters as well. And different themes that do rounds.
She wants, I want princess, I want Moana, I want
nature,
whatever.
Harry Potter.
So now I have told her, this is super expensive. I can't buy you every week. If you have to buy, you will get it only once a month. And then she'll ask me, Acha, once a month, how many days are there in a month?
See, big learning there.
Big learning there. Exactly.
Now she's being calculated. She's thinking.
She's thinking, right? Then I tell her after 30 days. Okay? Then like 30 days?
Then give her a calendar. Beta, roj mark.
She asks, so then now she understands, okay? Then I told her, no means no. Firstly, you have to be firm. If you're saying no to anything, I think you can't just budge, or you can't be just
you can't say no for the sake of saying it for a few seconds. You have to maintain the no as a no. That's what firmly believe, right? And even if they throw tantrums, if she cries or lies down somewhere, I don't care. Pata nahi kiska bachcha hai.
So no means no, okay? If you're not, okay? And so I have told her, again, I have limited money. Again, I'm repeating her this constantly. I do not want to make her feel that her mother doesn't have money at all. I don't want that feeling with her, because that can be very low as self-esteem. It may develop, but
it may impact negatively
as well. So not that on every sentence I'm using it, but wherever I see that there is something expensive and she's asking it regularly, okay, every day, then I tell her, no, it is expensive. I have limited money. You can get it once a month. So it's very important to tell your kids that money is not available freely, right?
It's earned.
And
they should also earn it in some way, right?
Correct.
And earn it with patience. If at all at this moment they can't do the need of actually earning,
yes.
But they can earn it by truly being understanding and patient.
So where you say comes into gratification part. Short-term gratification, long-term gratification, right? Short-term is very instantaneous. They will not even realize that, okay, I have been given something. Okay, they will just, it's like momentary, right? That moment and it's gone. And long-term gratification is you have to wait, patient, and then relish the thing. So I firmly believe in long-term gratification. That's why I am also,
stocks, long-term gratification. वो देगा मुझको, देगा.
I'm waiting it for my LV as well. कि देगा आएगा किसी दिन आएगा वो दिन आएगा. Okay, so long-term gratification. I'm not going ahead with the short-term gratification जो कि आया and then I'll regret it.
But you have a very valid point there. There are so many things we just buy
at an impulse.
With the impulsive nature that we lose value for impulsively as well.
Yes.
You value things more when you have waited for it long enough, and when it comes into your life, you truly value it.
Yes, absolutely.
And you give it that.
You will cherish it.
You'll cherish it.
You cherish it. So, like for example, okay, I always say that, okay, my parents, they do not buy me a doll. They bought it for my sister because we have only 2 years of difference. Okay. And they did not have enough money at that time that they could even buy me a doll. And they have not. And there was a moment when I was like, when Shayantan gifted me soft toys, he's like, oh, bechari, tumhare parents have tumhe doll bhi nahi diya. I would love those toys, okay, soft toys. But I cherished that, okay, that one doll we were given by my parents to me and my sister. I don't know for how long we kept playing with it. And today's kids, I see Ruhi, a toy has come 2 days.
And they're bored.
They are bored.
Abundance, like you were talking about.
Right?
Because if you have too many choices, you have too many options, you lose and you're distracted and you jump from one thing to another so fast.
Correct.
And you're bored of things also very fast.
So now I give away her stuff. I ask her, you're not playing with it. If you're not playing with it, it's gone. I'll give it to somebody who needs it.
So I think this is where I always say that I have also, and I don't know how negative or positive this impact is personally, but this is something that I have inculcated, which is yearly once we go to an orphanage.
Oh, which is so nice.
So
right?
And this is not something, frankly, why we started this was because of the abundance.
Oh yes, there's no space in my house to keep anything right now.
It's Bangalore.
It's Bangalore, right.
So what I did was, because there was just so much of abundance, so Deepak and I just thought about it in length and we said that we don't need it. Kids don't need it.
Kids don't need
but
it.
But there is somebody out there who truly needs it.
Correct.
And it's important, and I take my kids with me.
Which is such a nice...
that's why I said it's each one to their own. But to me, I think it's worked wonders, where I take both my children with me yearly once during Christmas time. I make them shortlist things. So I tell them that you know what you have been playing with, and you know what you haven't, and you know what you have outgrown. And both of the kids have varied interests, frankly. So as much as they are boys, one heads in one direction, the other heads in the opposite direction. They converge also in certain things, but there are very few things they converge on. So I take them and they shortlist, and we reach an orphanage where they themselves leave the toys. They meet a few kids.
Wow, that's lovely.
And you know what hurts me the most is when I see that the orphanage starts with 10-day-old babies. Okay, so that's been a realization for me as well when I've started taking these kids there, that it's a huge learning for me. It's a huge learning for them. And there are times when Darsh kind of puts in these words when Yuvan is being particular about buying something, and Darsh says, I don't think we should. We have too many of this. There are so many kids that don't have it.
Empathy in him, right? There is a difference between sympathy and empathy.
Yeah.
Right?
So and I hope this continues, and I hope that
I'm sure it will.
Yeah, so it's, at least if there's nothing much we can do for the children there, at least this is a little that we can.
Like a fantastic mother. Yes, absolutely. I mean, of course, with both of them.
No, but yeah, I think we are all doing our best as mothers, as the best that we can do, because I also truly believe that all mothers are doing their best.
Oh yes,
they want to bring
in
about,
whatever way.
Yeah,
there's nothing wrong or right.
So everybody's doing right by them, by their
own
children,
standards,
and their situation and their circumstances, and by their children.
Yes.
There is no mother who I say does something incorrectly, because I believe that even if you did something that I might not consider doing, it's because your situation demanded that. That's it.
Correct.
My situation so far didn't. Probably why I didn't arrive at it yet. So that's it.
I think judging any parent would be very wrong. So
incorrect.
incorrect,
Absolutely
right.
incorrect.
So
Yeah.
I have done that, and then I realized later on that how wrong I was. You know, it was in Bangalore only,
Right.
near the arcade, and parents were wearing full jackets, okay, and the
Oh.
kid was not. I'm like, अरे
Oh.
कैसे parents हैं यार? See,
अपना ख्याल रखने
अपना
बच्चे
ख्याल
का
बच्चे
नहीं.
नहीं रख रहे, okay. Then, okay, I
And
judged.
then Ruhi was born.
then Ruhi was born, and it was full summer, okay, full summer. We were going on a drive, and she's like, नहीं मुझे तो sweater पहनना है. I want to wear. I'm like, अरे, okay. I mean, this weather does not require a sweater.
बेटा rash हो जाएगा.
No,
फिर भी पहनूंगी मैं.
फिर भी पहनूंगी, yes. And I'm like, Ruhi, it's very hot, right? I will not remove it. I'm like, oh God, people will be judging today. And at that moment, I realized I was wrong judging that mother and parents as such, that they were wearing jackets and kid was not wearing. So
You are absolutely right. Thank you so much,
Thank
Namita.
you
It
for
was
having
fantastic
me.
having you here. Had a fantastic
Same
conversation with you. My name is Shobna, and I'm the founder of ZenMoms.org, a platform dedicated to the holistic wellness of women and mothers of all ages and stages.